everybody, Arnaldo Hoffman here with Master School Dances. I am here at the awesome, amazing, beautiful Hilton Garden in Lakeland, Florida. Thank you guys so much for letting me use your ballroom for this shootout. Now, a lot of you guys have seen that ADJ has come out with several new black lights. They've expanded their Eco series like never before, and the infamous UV LED Bar 16 has been upgraded. I'm going to be doing videos on each individual thing to show you some of the features and everything, but I want to do a shootout, and not just in how it fills the room up, but in some of the different features so we can compare and contrast. If you want to know more about each individual light, as I post up each review, you should see the annotations on this YouTube video as well as in the description below. So the lights today that we are going to be shooting out, first of all, my personal favorite is the Eco UV Bar DMX, this guy right here. We're also going to do its brother, the Eco UV Bar Plus IR. Little sister, the Eco UV Bar 50 IR. And the super awesome cousin that everybody wants to hang out with, but nobody ever really gets a chance to, is the UV Bar 20, the much beefier version over the UV Bar 16. So let's go over a few of these different options here, see how they fill up the entire room, and then we'll compare and contrast. No pun intended. Now here's a quick disclaimer. This is not a professional test. I don't have little light meters or anything like that to read, whether the light's hitting it or not, because I use my eyes, because my clients aren't going to sit there with a meter or anything like that. Same thing when I do a sound test or a comparison or anything like that. So I hope that, you guys kind of judge in that sense too. Now, cameras have a funny way of picking up UV when it's emitted from an LED light. These are actually much better than previous generations where there's a lot less visible light. And to talk about visible light or whatnot, make sure you guys come to my seminar at the Las Vegas DJ show, or I'll talk about it in the review for each of these as well. But I'm actually going to tweak the camera settings a little bit to try to show some of that visible light, just so you can see where it hits. Of course, keep in mind that in person, all that blue light that you may see, you are not going to see in person. So the first light that we're going to do is the UV LED Bar 20. We're going to turn off the lights, and I'm going to literally have the light right underneath the lens. So right around there, you'll actually kind of see right here where the light is. I'm using a wide angle of 11 to 15 in case you guys are curious. And yeah, let's do it. So I brought my aperture down to 2.8 just so you can really get an idea of it. The big difference between the UV LED Bar 20 or UV LED Bar 20 and the 16 is, of course, the 20 LEDs. And also has power linking, which, thank God. And of course, you have your IR remote option. I've been using this light to do a lot of long throws. Right now I'm holding it vertical, now I'm holding it horizontal. And what you'll see is that there's a very specific beam of coverage that I can get. Now some of you guys may be disappointed by that because it is a small compact fixture, but it has a very thin and wide beam. But in reality, this is great because you can do selective black lights. So let's say, for example, you want black lights just on the dance floor area. You can do with a couple of these without hitting the back tables. Or maybe you just want to hit the tables but without hitting the roof. You can do that. Maybe you have some decorations on the roof, so you want to make the roof light up but you don't want to make the tables light up as much. You can do that as well. So again, keep in mind that whenever you have this LED, this particular one, the wide, thin, narrow beam does allow you to do a little bit more creative designs with it. More importantly, if you have a large area to fill, this is great because it is much, the throw is much further out than the Eco is. That is thanks to its 21 watt LEDs. Does a really nice job of filling up. Let me see if I can loosen up this camera. I'm going to show you real quick. So here's all the way to the ceiling, all the way down to the floor area. Next is the Eco UV Bar 50 IR. Let's take a look. Now this one is a little bit weaker in the sense that it's not hitting the tables with the same intensity, but that's because this one light is flooding the entire hotel room. Basically from where the top of the lens is right down to the bottom, everything is getting hit with UV light. There's a nice pop to everything, It's not going to be as bright as the bigger bars that you're about to see, but for a small miniature bar, this is perfect. That means 2 of them in here, and we would have black lights like never before. Let's go ahead and move it up here so you can see it. There we go. I got to go up further back. There's my head. And look, even behind the camera, there's LED, there's black light LED coverage. Down on the bottom, you can kind of see the break there. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to move it back. So you can see right there. So again, it's just an absolutely amazing fixture, and I'm right next to the lens too. And of course, the IR remote's gonna allow me to do just solid on, off, or strobe with it. But that is the Bar 50 IR. Small, compact, just amazing overall. Again, the blue that you see is not the blue that I see. It's just, Canon has a funny way of picking things up. And I also uncalibrated my color information on my program so you can actually see more visible light than anything else, so you can see where the coverage is. So I hope that makes sense. This is the Eco UV Bar Plus IR. Now this one's absolutely amazing. Again, you're going to get that same deep coverage. I'm not even pointing it at the ceiling, and the ceiling's beyond flooded. I mean, I'm pointing it straight out. And everything pops a lot more all the way to that very last table on the other side. There's a table right in front of the camera, and then there's 1, 2, 3 tables right behind it, and that third table is lit up just as vibrant as well. Now, of course, in an actual setting, we would want to raise the light up so you can get some really great coverage, or even better coverage. But right now, the camera or the light is right at this level. And we have the Eco UV Bar DMX. It's pretty much the same coverage because it's the same light. So let's go ahead and compare and contrast on the individual lights here. So first of all, we have the Eco UV Bar DMX, and we have the UV LED Bar 20. Now these guys are on a class of their own, specifically because of the DMX functions. Now some of you may say, Arnaldo, I don't need DMX. Well, if you have a DMX rig, you most certainly do, because you can do some creative UV designs using DMX. Instead of having one light be on the entire time, and the effect may get old after a bit, if it's not the central focus of the theme and just a highlight of it, then these particular lights are going to allow you to fade in, fade out with UV. Let's say there's a bass drop, right, and you get that crazy strobe, all of a sudden, bam, light shut off, and these pulse in. Again, you can only do that with DMX. This one here, of course, you have the power linking and DMX, of course, linking, which are external cables. Now, some of you may not like that because you want it to be integrated, but honestly, if you open this thing up and you see there's no way they could have integrated this thing without it making much bigger like this particular guy. Now, this guy isn't huge, but this is a longer piece. So we wanted to make sure that whenever we choose our lights for our fixtures, that we want something that's still narrow, compact, because I wanted these to fit inside the trussing. That's why this is perfect, and I'm glad that ADJ did not put these built in and make it a much bigger, bulkier case. But again, my personal rig, I'm going to use 4 of these now to flood my dance floor, and the UV LED Bar 20, I'm going to use them to hit the outer edges of the walls. If you're going to be doing big hotels, big rooms, this is a winning combination for you. However, let's not dismiss these other 2 because not everybody's out there doing DMX. Maybe you're just doing glow bubble parties, or maybe you're just doing blacklight parties where you rent them out, or maybe you're not getting into DMX, or whatever the reason may be. There isn't a huge price difference between the Eco DMX and the Eco Plus, which is why I recommend the Eco DMX. Even if you don't think you're getting into DMX, but eventually you will, just go ahead, bite the bullet, spend a little bit extra for the Bar DMX. You'll thank me for it later, I promise you. But the Eco UV should still not be dismissed. Again, remember that the UV series, you can move the legs around so you can do some really creative truss designs. Now the Bar DMX, you can only move them here and here for each one because obviously we have the actual DMX board. I don't want to say it's in the way, but it's in the way. So if you want to do some really, really nifty truss designs, this one might be a little bit easier, but the legs are strong enough that you can hold the light up with one if you needed to. Just don't forget, safety cable it, to be safe. Now, for those of you that may be on a budget and don't know whether you need to get 1 of these or 2 of these, this is half the size of that. So I would much rather get 2 of these because it gives me redundancy. It gives me better light coverage because I can put them on opposite sides. Plus, it looks a little bit cooler on the truss instead of a single point source of light. And again, the redundancy is important because maybe you need to rent one out, or maybe somebody breaks one, or it gets stolen, or it dies on you, or whatever it may be. Always good to have 2 of these versus just 1 of these. Now these do not have the built-in power linking. You just plug them straight in. And honestly, if you're gonna own a club or if you own a laser tag place or anything like that, to me these are the best ones because they are permanent installation, unless you do laser tag with DMX or anything on a timer, DMX program on a timer, so you can make the black lights chase. Then you want to go with these guys right here. For me, because I'm a crazy egomaniac, again, I'm going to use 2 of these or 4 of these, possibly 2 of these for the bigger rooms, and then I'm going to have 1 of these over my area because I can use the remote control to turn this one on and off. Now, of course, you know, you want to make sure you point these in an area where these don't get turned on and off either with a remote, or just block it or do something. But so that's it. That's all 4 of them here. Absolute winners. Some of you may be asking about the UV LED Go. The UV LED Go is still a great contender, and I did not get a chance to bring it, but I can tell you that the UV LED Go gave me about the same coverage as the Eco UV Bar 50 IR. The Eco UV Bar gave me slightly wider, actually a lot wider coverage, but a couple of the LED goes and you're going to get really good coverage too. So if you need something portable like this but you want a battery powered, the UV LED Go is definitely the way to go, and it also uses the same IR remote. So thank you guys for watching the shootout. If you have any questions or comments, put them on the link below. Share this with your friends. Now, while I have your attention, if you are watching this before September the 9th or 10th or whatever of 2014, I will be at the Las Vegas DJ show, and I will be doing a seminar on UV lights. Surprise. But it's going to be more about just UV lights to point them at a dance floor, make black light parties. It's going to talk about how to upsell it, why UV lights basically went from an upsell to a standard part of our packages, which of course our prices would go up from there. Give us a lead over our competition because we can send in a more expensive option and it's integrated with the package. It's not costing me an arm and a leg. It's going to talk about the differences between fluorescent and LED lights, as well as the other different types of UV lights that there are out there, and how to sell, again, different types of lights. Again, I prefer LED. We'll talk about why at the seminar, and it'll also talk about the new hex bars that ADJ has released. Now, the hex bars, if you're not familiar with them, are RGB AW UV, and the first thought that came to my mind was, cool, now I have one part that I can do all my floods, that I can do my white strobes, and I can do my UV lights. Perfect for smaller setups where I just need simple coverage and I don't want to set up too many fixtures. But then I thought, ooh, now I have a beautiful purple that I can use for uplights, or you can create some really crazy color combinations with, RGB AW, and then pop in a little bit of that UV in there. It's going to be a really fun seminar, and it's going to be a seminar that, if you guys have any questions or anything, please, raise your hand, interrupt me, whatever, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. So there'll be more information on that real soon. Once that's down, or once that's set up, you're going to see the link for that below the description as well. And again, that's for the Las Vegas DJ show 2014. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be great. Thank you guys so much for all of your time. Thank you so much for watching, your support, your love, your hate, whatever. Just thanks for watching and making that view count go up. Good night, everybody, and God bless. Also, a very, very special thank you to the amazing staff here at the Hilton Garden for letting me use their room time and time again for these shootouts, company meetings, etc. They've just been absolutely amazing. If you guys are ever in the Lakeland area, you're looking for a venue, this is the place. Great ballroom, amazing AV, amazing AV. It's actually right next to the airport too, so if you are obsessed with planes like I am, you always get a great view coming in here. So again, that's the Hilton Garden in Lakeland, Florida. Thank you so much, and God bless.